In the Horn of Africa, some 22 million people are suffering from food insecurity due to drought. According to data from the World Food Programme, in 2022, at least 9.2 million livestock deaths occurred in the drought-affected areas of Ethiopia, Kenya, and Somalia.
It affects people and communities much more severe than it used to affect them in the past. On the one hand, we are all talking about drought, about conditions of livestock holders, of farmers, lack of access to water, communities are destabilized, people have to flee their homes. So when we hear today about displacement caused by drought, that's one big and important element.
Meanwhile, in Nigeria, more than 600 people have died and over 3.2 million have been affected by the floods that have hit more than 30 states in the West African country this year.
Africa is one of the continents that is most severely impacted by climate change, and yet, if we look at the history of the last 200 years, where greenhouse gases have accumulated as a result of production in developed countries, the African continent has contributed less than 4% to those accumulated greenhouse gas emissions. We think it's very important in the short term that developed countries need to honor the commitments that they have made.
Earlier this month, a long-awaited Loss and Damage Fund to help those countries that are vulnerable to climate change was approved at the end of the 27th session of the Conference of the Parties to the United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change. However, many have said that the fund will not be enough to address concerns.
African countries and other developed world, they are paying ultimate price because of climate change. We expect to see a lot from Western Hemisphere doing a lot more, committing a lot of resources to Africa and developed world in terms of supporting climate adaptation and mitigation in a bid to combat climate change.
China has long supported other developing countries in their fight against climate change through South-South cooperation and the Belt and Road Initiative. In various parts of Africa, China-Africa cooperation in renewable energy is bearing fruits.
When we look at the impacts of the climate crisis, we're also seeing this inequality where those that have contributed least to the climate crisis are facing its most significant impacts. We welcome this effort from China. We welcome the work that's being done under China's Global Development Initiative and its Global Clean Energy Cooperation Partnership.